This is not good, guys. So if you are in the path of this storm, there's a tornado on the ground right now doing damage. This right now is Doppler indicated, but the path of this thing will take it towards Seymour. Have a report of a tornado on the ground right now. You can see that velocity couplet there. When you have those very close together, that's where you're going to have that circulation, and actually looks like it might have just intensified just a touch with the latest scan. It's right in this area here that we're talking about those sustained winds, potentially over 100 miles an hour.
We might as well have some snow.
I totally agree with you. If you're going to have the gray skies and the cold temperatures, bring on the snow. The winds gusting 35 to 40 miles an hour, and also notice this, it's a very dry, powdery snow, and so when that wind kicks up, it just blows it across, drifting it and reducing the visibility. It's going to take a while for these roads to get cold enough to actually accumulate anything. But when you come over here to some of the sidewalks, some of the less traveled areas, this is going to be the same case on your driveway or in some of the parking lots, the side streets. When you measure the temperature here, it's actually down to about 35 now. Rogersville, Seymour, all the way out towards Mountain Grove. Huge problems here with icing happening. This sidewalk was shoveled, I'd say, about an hour ago. And look at this. We already have at least 2, maybe 3 inches of snow.
That stands up on its own.
Yeah,
and
good luck with that.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Okay,
so,
as well. Matt, you little stinker.
I just think I'm actually standing on this golf course.
Yes,
oh, where's the hole? Oh,
you wish you were. There you go. Backwards.
Oh,
there you go.
Backwards? I can't tell. There's too many monitors.
Too many
yeah,
cameras.
It's looking really good out there. Hopefully you don't putt like that. It's no secret that mobile home parks like this are one of the worst places to be in a tornado. Despite that, those living here have little option when it comes to taking shelter. Okay, guys, now we are going inside of that giant soccer ball, and this is actually the National Weather Service's Doppler radar.
I've already had one of these.
You already had one?
Yeah, I've already had one, and they're delicious, so I wanted you guys to try it. That's just a lot of cookie dough on there, and it's delicious, and it's worth it.
Yeah, hold on.
What do you guys think?
There's that dark cloud that you see. That's that shelf cloud I talked about earlier. You're going to get a big gust of wind. The movement of this storm is east at 55 miles an hour. See how the storm kind of bows forward? It has that bit of a forward push to it right there. There could be some really high winds along the leading edge of. Look at that sunrise or sunset. What time is it? Sunset right now. That's what happens when you work these double shifts. But it is beautiful out there. Well, I was almost tempted to take the top off my Jeep today. Didn't quite do it, but you could have. Temperature made it to nearly 70 in Springfield earlier.
All right, before we go, check out this picture from Caulfield. I love it.
Move over. The period of heaviest rain is in this red shaded area. That's from late tonight through early Sunday morning. That's when the bulk of our rain will fall.
Right, so I thought, why not go out to the lake? And then I said, oh, I'm going to clean the garage instead.
Oh, come on.
I got to get those chores done before fall and winter.
You're picking the garage over going to the lake tomorrow.
Yeah, it was that cloudy coverage. A little bit.
KY3 Storm Team Forecast.
All right, welcome back. We are on. We should be on in your living room now.
Yeah.
Earlier, we had some ice.
Yeah.
A little bit of an ice problem on our broadcast
on the tower. On the Fordland Tower, we actually had some accumulating ice, which caused some of the signal issues, but as we've been told, hopefully that's fixed now.
Yes.
Which is good, but that just
I can just
goes to
envision
show.
our engineer with a blowtorch.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? But you know, it goes to show you that we have some significant ice accumulating across parts of the area. Want to show you some viewer photos that were just sent in. Look at this out of Colcamp.
Oh wow.
Look at that winter wonderland. I mean, it looks
That's pretty,
really
actually.
pretty though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then now this is kind of the bad side of the wintry weather. Look at this picture out of Caulfield there into Howell County. That is a lot of ice. I mean, that
it's pretty thick.
Just from looking at that, it looks like at least a ½ inch of ice. I mean, that can really cause some damage, and so that's the reason why we are talking about those power outages potentially in this area. We're getting numerous reports of tree limbs down, and yeah, so a lot of ice there. Thank you, Sherry, for submitting that photo. Here's a look at our satellite and radar right now. Look at this huge wintry mess going on across the Ozarks. We have a cold rain falling for southwest Missouri, heavy snow in our northern counties, and then we have all that mix, that mess across our eastern counties right now. Here's the reason why we're seeing all of this. We have an area of low pressure at the surface near Oklahoma City. Warm air is flowing in ahead of that. Now it's just enough warm air that most of what we're seeing across far southern Missouri and northern Arkansas has been in the form of rain, but you go just to the north and there's all that cold air moving in from the northeast, and we have that battleground going on across the Ozarks, and that's why we're seeing that variety of precip types. But the cold air is a little bit deeper the farther north you get, and that's why we're talking about some more significant accumulations in that area. Here's a look at radar right now. And again, mainly rain into much of Greene County, but you don't have to go very far to the north here into Polk County and back through northern Lawrence County up towards Stockton. This is where we're starting to see that change over to some snow. And then, of course, as you saw from the live shot earlier with Andrew, we have some really decent snow falling up around Osage Beach. You can see that now through St. Elizabeth, and this extends all the way out towards Rolla. And then most of our eastern counties dealing with that wintry weather. So Shannon County down here into northern Oregon County, we're seeing some of that as well. And then here along Highway 60 east of Springfield, that's where we're talking about some real icing issues there around Seymour and Fordland with some of the freezing rain that continues to fall. Temperatures are everything this morning. If you're just a degree or two above freezing, it's that cold rain. That's why we're seeing that in Springfield right now. But you go east, look at all the temperatures here right around that freezing mark. A couple places like West Plains and Salem have warmed just above that, but it's just right on the edge. And that's why it's just been such a difficult forecast with determining what type of precip you're going to get. Now, as we head through the rest of the day, we have more of this on the way. More rain across our southern counties, mainly snow in our northern counties. And then as we get into very late this afternoon, as some cold air moves in on the back side of this, I think that's when places like Springfield could briefly switch over to some snow. But if you were hoping for a lot of snow in Springfield, just not going to happen. I don't think we're going to see much here. But even through tomorrow morning, we still have flurries there across our far northeast counties. Additional snowfall. Now, this is on top of what you already have on the ground. We could see another 2 to 5 inches of snow there in our far northeastern counties. You work your way back to the south and west, a little closer into Springfield, maybe an inch or two. But I think in the city itself, maybe up to an inch of slushy accumulation, probably even less than that. And then across far southwest Missouri and northern Arkansas, mostly a cold rain through the rest of the day. Here's a look at where those winter storm warnings are still in effect. All of our northern counties and all of our eastern counties underneath that winter storm warning until midnight. You work your way back to the west. This is a winter weather advisory from Springfield down to Branson all the way out to Joplin. Temperatures for today, they're not going to warm up much at all. We're stuck in the mid to upper 30s. There's your normal high at 42, so everybody will stay well below that. At lunchtime, still in the mid 30s. We might get close to 40 across our far southern counties later today, but I think for the most part, we're stuck in those mid 30s pretty much all day. There's a look at the KY3 tower cam, all wet, just wet roadways here in Springfield right now, so travel is pretty good. Temperatures are still above freezing, 34 right now. Humidity is very high, and because, again, we're above freezing for now, things are looking pretty good, at least here locally. Other parts of the area, though, not so much. 36 this afternoon in Springfield, near 40 in Harrison. Still that ongoing wintry mix through the afternoon. Tonight, as some slightly colder air moves in, we'll drop below freezing. 28 Springfield, 31 in Harrison. Could see some freezing drizzle and some flurries overnight tonight. Tomorrow, still a cold day, temperatures in the low 30s, but I think most of this will move out of here. And then finally, we have some quiet weather to look forward to, and any snow that's on the ground, that'll be melting off quickly by midweek.